Hey guys, it's the mama from offerhimblog.com. I want to talk to you guys about something serious this morning. Uh, Something that God has been putting on my heart. So you guys have probably seen the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. People are dumping buckets of ice on their head for a worthy cause. Maybe you even participated in that. I have a new kind of challenge this morning. The first part is that you listen to this. And the second part is you move in whatever way God moves you. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm going to share my testimony with you guys because if we can make awareness for disease and prevention and research go viral, I want to make our testimonies go viral. And I'll talk to you again. I'll talk to you about that in just a minute. But I'm going to share my testimony with you guys. This is something that God has told me to do, and although it pushes me way out of my comfort zone because I'm a very private person, God has called us to share our story in hopes that it may inspire someone else. And like I said, I just pray that you will watch this and then move however God moves you. I was saved as a child at a young age. I was saved at about 7 years old. And what I mean by that is that I realized I made mistakes. Even as a kid, I did things that were not right, that were selfish, and got my sisters in trouble, and just did childlike things that were wrong and selfish. And I realized I needed God to forgive me. And I asked Him into my heart. It doesn't have to be this big, ornate, long thing. It's really simple, and you need to be sincere. But even a child who is called by God, even a child can understand it if God is speaking to them. So I understood at a young age, but I was motivated after that to be good because I wanted to be pleasing to Him. I knew that that wasn't me earning salvation, but I wanted to live in a way that was good and it made Him happy. So I wanted Him to be pleased with me. I've always been a quote unquote goody two shoes of, you know, I just, as a kid, I wanted to be the good one. And I tried that for a long time. And I follow the rules. I'm still a rule follower. I'm kind of, I don't know. That's one of my hang-ups, I guess. But I had issues growing up. My parents would argue. It was more so my father, but he was verbally abusive, and there's some things that went with that. But it kind of came to a head when I was about 15. They got divorced, and on my birthday, and that was very difficult. But the worst part was that my father decided he didn't want to be a part of our life anymore, which that was probably a good thing, I guess, for the best, because he was very manipulative and very deceitful, and there's a lot of hurt heaped on, even still, from the things that he did and said. But I developed some real daddy issues, some abandonment issues. One of the things that happened was when I got to college age, I started looking for a serious relationship. I wanted someone that was not going to leave me, that was going to fill that hole. The problem is that people will fail you. Even if they love you, they're going to make mistakes because we're just human. We're flawed. What I didn't think about as much was Deuteronomy 31:6 says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Now, that got me through my father leaving, but the light bulb didn't go off as far as I was looking for someone else to fill this void. And another version of that says, He will never fail nor abandon you. And so God was the one thing that was going to be stable, but I didn't see it as that. I didn't understand. So I looked for love in ways that I shouldn't have looked for love, and I got into things that I shouldn't have got into as a young woman. Trying to find a relationship that would fill what God was meant to fill. I know a lot of you probably have a similar story. Um, the difference maybe is that I was saved and I quote unquote knew better. Um, but I think I didn't have the maturity that I really should have had. Um, Long story short, I did finally meet the person that God wanted for me, and we fell in love. Um, Very quickly, I might add. And after only knowing each other for a little while, we got pregnant. We're not married yet. Um, I think my good girl image was shattered to everyone in my family. Everyone was kind of shocked. Um, this again was me looking to fill that void. Um, and actually, I can remember I had a lot of failed relationships in that year prior to that. And um, when we found out we were pregnant, and I told my parents, my parents thought we were joking, and his parents, he went to go tell his parents, and he was, I guess, gone a long time, a couple hours, and I remember thinking, he's not coming back. He's just going to leave me like everybody else did. Fortunately, that wasn't the case. God really did intend for us to be together, and we decided to get married, not because it was going to fix any of our mistakes, but because we really did love each other. We wanted to make our family official. Um, and over the last 9 years, we tried to do the right thing. I tried to raise our kids right and take them to church and do the things that you're supposed to do. The only problem was that we were half-hearted. At this point, we were not motivated out of a desire to please God. We were motivated out of, I don't know, looking like we did the right thing or checking things off our box. And that's just the wrong motivation. And so we had some ups and downs over the last 9 years of marriage. Some hurts and some good times and some really low times. But God, I'm thankful because we were both Christians. I'm thankful that God was the glue that held us together. Excuse me. The main thing though is that we were trying to maintain this image, not a false image necessarily, maybe to an extent. I'm not going to say that things were like 180 degrees in the other direction if you really knew us, but our hearts weren't motivated out of devotion to God. They were motivated out of checking things off our boxes because we thought if we get our life straight, we're going to be happy and we're going to figure this out. And we've had a lot of struggles over the years. We've had, financial struggles and hard times in our marriage and loss of loved ones, and we've gone through some really tough things. But all this time we were trying to keep up this, not image, we were trying to keep up what we thought we were supposed to do. But the thing is, in Galatians 5:1 it says, "It is for freedom that He set us free, that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened by a yoke of slavery." So that slavery would be our sin. And all this time we were trying to do all the little check boxes. We were still being selfish. I was selfish. My husband was doing the things that best served him. And it wasn't until a year ago, we went to a marriage conference. And if you know us, you know the change. You've probably seen it. We realized all the hurt that we had heaped on each other. I held grudges, and I would pick at my husband for every little thing, and we were very selfish. I was very selfish, and I realized I wasn't building my husband up, and how could I expect to have a good marriage if I was always cutting him down? And I knew what I needed. I needed a leader, a spiritual leader, but I didn't give him the respect that he deserved. I thought he had to earn it, and he wasn't earning it in my eyes. The problem is that nobody can ever earn that because we're all flawed. So something stood out to me over the last year. We decided we were going to try it God's way. Instead of just being kind of pious, I guess, and doing it our way and thinking we knew better than God or anybody else. Um, we tried it God's way, and things went a lot better. We started doing what God wanted, even if it was hard. We raised a few $1,000s to go to Haiti on a mission trip that God called us way out of our comfort zone to do. I'd never been anywhere. We started raising our children in the way that God wanted instead of in the way that we thought was best. We're more involved. And we are, our heart, when I say we have a heart transplant, does that mean that we still have like this trouble-free life now? No. We still have struggles. I don't have a perfect life, and that's something that I want you guys to know, is that unfortunately He doesn't give you a perfect life because you accept Jesus. It just doesn't work that way. But you have Him to lean on when you go through any troubles. God is still good, even though the things of this world are not. 2 Corinthians 12:9, that's what's up on this wall, says, but He said to me, my grace is all you need. My power is strongest when you are weak. So I'm very happy to brag about how weak that I am. It's a change, huh? Then Christ's power can rest on me because of how I suffered for Christ. I'm glad that I am weak. I'm glad in hard times. Who can say that? I'm glad when people say mean things about me. I'm glad when things are difficult. I'm glad when people make me suffer. When I am weak, I am strong, because it's kind of like falling back. You fall into Jesus and you're secure. He's not going to let you go. He's never going to fail you or abandon you. He's never going to leave you or forsake you. No matter what you go through, you can lean on Him. It doesn't mean you're not going to have financial struggles. It doesn't mean you're going to not have failed relationships. It doesn't mean you're not going to have people be cruel to you. It doesn't mean you're going to get that promotion or get lots of money. That's not what it means. It does not mean because you follow Jesus that you're going to have a good life. That's just wrong theology. The good news is that you have a hope that it's going to be better. One day you're going to rule. You're going to reign with Jesus. You're going to be with Him in heaven. And that's hope, but there's freedom from trying to live this life in a way that you think you have to have it all together, because you don't. We're all a bunch of broken people. And the thing is that God forgives us of that. Just make sure that whatever you do, you're doing not for your own benefit, but because God has asked you to. And He'll take care of the rest. He loves you so much, and He just wants a relationship with you. Like I said, it doesn't mean your life's going to be perfect, but I would not be where I am today if it weren't for the redemption of Him. And it's so freeing to really trust in Him, to accept His forgiveness, no matter how dark you think your past is, no matter what wrongs you think you've done, no matter how far down you've gone, you can always turn around. No matter what's been done to you, evil things that have been done to you by cruel, wicked people, you didn't deserve that. But there's freedom and forgiveness and hope in Jesus. So that's what I want to tell you guys. Now I want to challenge you. If you're moved to make a decision based on that, whether it's to accept Christ for the first time or to share with someone else, or whether it's to start living in a way that is free in Jesus, I pray that you will be motivated and be moved to do that. Reach out to someone you know who is a believer, who is a sincere Christ follower if you don't know Him. Or you can reach out to me on our website, offerhimvlog.com. I'm happy to talk with any of you who want that. My prayer for each one of you who watch this is that you will have a stronger relationship, or maybe a first-time relationship with Jesus. To those of you who already know Christ and who are already living in Him, my prayer is that you will, in turn, after seeing this, share your testimony with others, whether it's people you come across or whether it's, I'm going to challenge you to make a video like this and put it out there. It doesn't have to be long. This is longer than I meant for it to be, but that's my challenge to you. Share your story because somebody needs to hear it. I'm praying for you, and God bless.